In another video, I show you how you can use a Python script that ships with the add-on to generate proxies a lot faster, but also to generate transparent image proxies. But to use it, you need a tool called FFmpeg, and you also need Python to run the Python script. So let's see how to install all this. We're going to head to a web browser and to the python.org website to install Python. That's the first thing. So this is for Windows users. You'll want to download Python 3. Any version. And when you click, it's a regular binary file that you can download to your computer. Once it's downloaded, you run it like normal. Double click to open it, and you will have the option to install Python. It's pretty much automatic, and you may want to install everything, maybe not idle if you're not coding with Python, but aside from that, it's all good by default. Okay, so that's for Python. Once you have that, you can use Python in the command line to launch the Python interpreter. So your computer will then be able to understand Python programs. Now we need another tool called FFmpeg, and this is the slightly harder part. First of all, to download FFmpeg, I recommend going to ffmpeg.zeranoe.com/build. So this is the download link. If you just look for download FFmpeg on Google, you should find it as, the third result right now. So be sure you go to this one because often the builds contain more options, especially for Windows users. By default, it will download the latest version for you, not just the latest recent stable build, but something basically bleeding edge. It's not a problem in general, it just runs fine. You can use that. Pick the right architecture. For most people nowadays, it's 64-bit, static, and click download the build. It's going to download it. Let's give it a few seconds. I'm going to head to my downloads folder, where I can find now the FFmpeg archive. So first you want to extract it. And once you've done so, let's dive inside of it. We're going to rename it to FFmpeg, just so it's clear what we have. And now we need to place this somewhere where we will tell Windows that we want it to register it for the command line. So let me explain. The thing is, it's not a program you install like usual to program files and all. The executable files in there can run just fine, okay? And if you want to be able to type, like me, FFmpeg in your command line and get everything right there, you need to put the path to the executable on a system variable called the path. If you do a bit of development, you're going to read about this a lot. So here's how to add elements to your path. Open the search with Windows S and start to type environment variable, so env, and you're going to see this option, edit the system environment variables. So these are a set of variables that the system uses to do a few things. You will see there are a few options in there. So put it forward, and it's going to open the system properties window, and you need to go at the very bottom and click on environment variables to access this. So you will see one of them at the top in the variables is called path. This is the one we want to change. So select it and click on the edit button. Another window opens, and then on each line you have one path. When you put a path to a folder in there, Windows is going to look for those executable files, and anything that's an executable, that's valid, it's going to make accessible like that. It's just going to take the name, and when you type the name of the file, it's going to call the entire path. It's going to call this executable. For example, if we were to add my library download FFmpeg /bin folder in there, we would be able to call FFmpeg, FFplay, or FFprobe right from the command line. So I recommend putting those tools that you make accessible to the command line. There are plenty of command line tools you can use and that are extremely useful. I recommend placing them in an easy to access folder. So I'm going to go to the C drive and I have a folder called tools, okay? And this is where I place my command line tools, the things I want to access globally. And in there you can see I have an FFmpeg folder in which I have a bin folder with the 3 executable files, okay? And now you can copy this path, go back to the system properties window, and when you edit the environment variables, you will see that I have the path on one of the lines. I'm going to delete it, then click the new button to add a new path and paste the path to my FFmpeg /bin folder. Once I've done that, I can close everything. You will need to close the command line for Windows to register everything, so you need to start it again. Let's do this. I'm going to open a PowerShell window. You can use Windows X for that. You will see the options for the command line in there. And if it's the normal command line instead of PowerShell, that's not a problem. Don't be worried about that. And now if I type FFmpeg, and if I go to even another folder like this, it's still called FFmpeg from anywhere, and the program will launch. Once you've done that, you can head back to the Build FFmpeg Proxies video to learn how to use it on your Blender projects.